Good morning, students. As you know that in prevailing conditions of coronavirus, physical classrooms are closed and teaching is suspended in across the entire country. So in order to help you to prepare something to support you for your learning, this is Brijen Dwivedi standing in front of you to bed your chemistry lesson. Let us start with the first chapter, that is matter around us. Matter around us. So this is our first chapter in class 9th chemistry. Today I will tell you this concept, that what matter is, how it is made up of, and with the help of certain properties, certain activities, I would like to explain you that what matter is. Students, this entire universe means what? Everything around us, up to which place we can see, the things we can feel which are present around us. This our planet Earth, the stars, moons, space, and other things which are present around us, they all come under this one word, universe. Now this entire universe is made up of two things. First is energy and second is matter. Entire universe, everything is made up of these two things. Now what is energy? Capacity of doing work is called energy. If we have capacity to do work, then we say we have energy. Say for example, for some day we are on fasting, we are not able to get a proper breakfast. So we feel lazy, we feel weak, and we say, I have less energy. But on the contrary, if you have taken properly breakfast, you have taken fruits, you have taken glucose, then you feel energetic, you feel happy. And you say that today I have lot of energy, I am feeling energetic. So capacity of doing work is called energy. And this energy is basically classified into two categories: kinetic energy and potential energy. And more about energy we'll learn in another branch of science, which is called physics. But this second part, matter, this we study in chemistry. So how we can identify that this given substance is a matter? What are the things, what are the parameters which if something fulfills those parameters, then we say that this is matter. So, for any substance to be called as matter, it should have these three things. It should have mass, it should have volume, it should occupy some space, and it should be felt by our senses. Senses means we can touch it, we can see it, we can feel it, we can taste it, we can hear it, we can smell it. So if all these three parameters are being fulfilled by any substance, then we call it as matter. Now let us take some examples. For example, a stone. So stone has mass, stone occupies space, and stone can be felt by touching. So stone is matter. Then this board on which I am writing, does it has mass? Yes, it has mass. It occupies space. Here you can see that it occupies space, it has a volume, and it can be felt also. So board is also a matter. So if I take a pause and I ask you to identify the things available or which are present around you that are matter, you can very well find now the chair, table, book, pen, a bottle of sanitizer, a soap cake, bread we are going to eat. All these things are what? They all are matter. Now, say for example we take another thing, light. So light occupies space. If you switch on the bulb, the room is filled with light. So it occupies space, you can say. It can be felt also, you can see it, but it doesn't have mass. So light is not matter. Right? Friendship can be felt, but it does not occupy the space, does not has mass. So friendship is also not matter. So I am quite sure that this differentiation, this definition has cleared you the concept of matter. What is matter? Now, if we have a closer look about the nature of matter, then there are two thoughts, two school of thoughts. One says that matter is continuous. Say for example, I am holding this marker in my hands. So this entire marker is one thing. And there is another school, there is another thought which say that no, matter has a particulate nature. Anything which we see in any form is actually made up of very small units, very small particles that are joined together. Now let us see a small activity with the help of which we are able to clarify it whether atom is continuous or atom is made up of particles. Now let us take a beaker here which is filled with water and put a tablespoon of sugar to it. So as soon as we added this sugar to this water, we can see clearly a heap of sugar present at the bottom of beaker. But if we leave this assembly for some time, if we leave it here for some time, or if we stir it with the help of a spoon, what will happen? The sugar heap which was visible at the bottom of this beaker, it disappears. It disappears. So where the sugar particles has gone? So if I ask you that where this sugar particle has gone, you simply reply that it is dissolved. Then how it is dissolved? If the matter was being continuous, then this dissolution was actually not possible. How this was being explained? That this water which was filled in this beaker is actually made up of very small particles, which we can represent in this way. These are the different particles of water. Now, the particles of sugar can be represented with the help of another, these solid dots. And once both of them were mixed, then what happened? The particles of sugar, they occupied the spaces that were present in between the particles of water, and that is how the sugar was dissolved in this water. So these are the particles of water, these are the particles of sugar, and this is mixture of water and sugar. So dissolution of sugar in the water is only possible if matter, that is water is also a matter, sugar is also a matter. So dissolution of sugar in water is only possible if they have a particulate nature, if they are made up of particles. Had both of them were continuous, then this dissolution or this mixing was actually not possible. So with the help of this activity, we can conclude that matter is particulate in nature, that is, matter is made up of very, very small particles. Now, what are the other properties of matter? So, first thing, that these particles from which this matter is made up of, they are extremely small. They are extremely small. They are small beyond our imaginations. Whatsoever we can think of their size, they are much, much smaller than that. Even a small lump, a drop of water has millions of particles. A small crystal of sugar has small hundreds and millions, trillions of the molecules of sugar. Now, there is a very simple activity with the help of which we can prove this, that particles of matter are very, very small. How? Let us see. So let's take a beaker. This is a beaker filled with 100 ml of water, and we have four other beakers and certain amount of water. This is the starting material that we need. Then we take a small crystal of potassium permanganate, KMnO4, and we put it here. So this small crystal, as we all know that KMnO4 has got an intense purple color. So once this crystal falls in the water of beaker, it starts dissolving, and we can see that the purple color spreads in the beaker. And after some time, the entire crystal is dissolved and an intense purple colored solution is obtained here. Now, how that was possible? because the particles which are present in that crystal, they divided and they occupied the spaces which are present in the molecules of water, and that is how this solution is formed. Now what we do, we name is as letter beaker A. Now we take another beaker B, where we take 10 ml from beaker A and we add 90 ml of water and we mix it. Now what we can see? Here we can see after some time, after complete mixing, we see that there is another purple colored solution. But intensity of that solution is comparatively less in comparison to that of beaker A. How? Some particles which are present there in beaker A, they are mixed with more amount of water. Now those particles which we suppose to that they are very small, they themselves are made up of millions of the particles. So once more water is present, they further dissolved and they further imparted color. Then again what we do, we take another beaker C. Here we had taken 10 ml from beaker B and mixed 90 ml of water. And after mixing, what we see? We still have a purple color here in this solution. But what will happen? The intensity of this purple color is comparatively less than this one. And so on. We can make another beaker D. We can make another beaker E. Again we take here 10 ml of beaker C and 90 ml water. Then in this beaker we take 10 ml from beaker D and we add 90 ml of water. We keep on diluting the solution. There will be less intensity of purple color on every successive step, but there will be a color. Why? Because the big crystal that we have added here is made up of many particles which on dissolution broken into small pieces, and each piece themselves contains many particles. Then again when more water was added, then again they were broken, color was spread. Those smaller particles which were present in B, they further subdivided in beaker C. The particles which are present in beaker C, they further subdivided into D, and this division keeps on taking place because the particles of matter are very, very small. So with the help of this simple activity, we can prove that particles of matter are very, very small. So I am quite sure that this module has, in this module I told you, let's take some time to revise, to summarize the things that we learned here, that this entire universe, everything around us is made up of two things, energy and matter. Energy is something which is said that capacity of doing work is called energy. While if something has got mass, has got volume and is felt by our senses, then it is called matter. Now this matter is made up of very, very small particles. Now particulate nature of matter can be proved with the help of a very simple activity of dissolving salt or sugar to the water. Dissolution of salt or sugar in water proves that matter is made up of small particles. Now, how small these particles are? These particles are very small. They are small beyond our imagination. So how this small nature, this tiny nature of particles can be proved with the help of this simple activity which I just shown you here, in which one small crystal of potassium permanganate is mixed with 100 ml of water. So the small crystal which was being added, that is broken into smaller particles and imparted a purple color. Now inside this solution, these particles of KMnO4 are present at different places. When I had taken 10 ml from this beaker and diluted it with 90 ml of water, this also has got a purple color, but the intensity of that color is comparatively less. But when 10 ml from this beaker is taken and again diluted with 90 ml of water, this next beaker also has got purple color, although its intensity is also comparatively less. So this, now if we keep on diluting, we keep on getting fade color of potassium permanganate, but the color is still there. That proves that these particles are very small. Even a small lump or a small particle that we are seeing, that itself is made up of millions of smaller molecules, and once they get the chance, they keep on separating, they keeps on coming out from that particle and keeps on imparting the color. Same activity we can also repeat by adding a small amount of Dettol to the water. As we know that Dettol also has got a characteristic smell. So if some amount of Dettol is added to 100 ml of beaker, it provides its characteristic smell. Then you keep on diluting it and the same characteristic smell you keep on getting, although the intensity of smell will keep on decreasing. So these two simple activities prove, first, matter has got a particulate nature. Matter is made up of very small particles. Second, these particles are very small. So I am quite sure, my dear students, you are able to understand the concept of matter and its particulate nature. This is all about this first module. In next module, I will explain more properties of these particles of matter and how the different arrangement of these particles, different influences, different properties, they give rise to different states of matter, that is solid, liquid and gas. Thank you.